Well, I'm doing blessed and highly for you. And if this is your first time stopping by my channel, much love to you and welcome. And to my returning subs, my growing extended beautiful family. You know what? You're getting stronger every day. Wiser is just sleeping balance for you. So allow yourself to trust the process and where it's about to take you. So with that being said, much love to all. Namaste, love and blessings, love and light, and many blessings are definitely coming your way. And if you have been watching my videos for a while and have not already, what are you waiting for? Like and subscribe, hit that notification bell at the bottom so you know when your girl's about to upload her next video. You're getting to know me. Even if it's about the positive feedback of the content of my video, or you're just up telling me about your empathic gift, how it impacted your life, and heading you towards a positive direction. And if you feel like and needing spiritual guidance or just needing confirmation or validation towards life path that you can soul purposes, please go ahead and share. While you're at it, give me a thumbs up, like, and also share on your social media favorites wherever you see fit. Thank you once again for the love and support. It's so greatly appreciated. And I hope that you're able to resonate with the content of my video. And the music that I'm playing in the background, let me turn it up. Okay, it's not too loud. I don't want it to drown me out. It's called Relaxing Music Hang Drum. Music note 13. It's like 13 has really been following me for a good minute. It's always a good luck number to me. And the video I'm doing today is Twin Flame 101. Heyoka is the retrograde is really doing a number on our emotional state of mind. Good God, Lord, if it's not what I say, it's just like I told y'all in the other video. It's just like you're going through these major shifts where you're like really, it's like your energy is like really, like interfering with a lot of different electronics. Is that retrograde is like everything is intensified. Like if you have a headache, I mean, you really get a headache. Like it can make you disoriented. That's how much, because you're getting so many different downloads at one time. And it's like everything is trying to cram into you that you need to know, what you need to let go of, what you need to part ways with, what you need to, be more intuitive with, or, gain more wisdom about certain things that's going on in your life that is, merging together with other things. It's like you're multitasking with your gifts as well as your knowledge. You're soaking a lot of things up like a sponge. um a lot of things maybe from the past, or even for future fears that you have, like, do I have what it takes to do what I need to do? Do I have what it takes? What do I have, what it takes for me to go, forth into certain things that I'm very foreign to? Am I going to have enough time? You all up in your head is doing like a psychic number on you. Is like really in your sight, and you have to allow yourself to go with the flow, because sometimes when you're going through this, it will, you know, be heavy on the what ifs or the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, or even from past memories. It's like a lot of times, when everything is like past vomit when you're coming up, it's not to be gross or anything, but it's kind of like that. If anything that you have held on to, or there are certain parts of your life that was really damaging to you, whether it was emotionally, mentally, spiritually, sexually, anything is old and foul will come up in your memory site. But it's not to torture you, it's for you to allow yourself to let that go. Is like, don't allow yourself to, you can deserve all you want to, just don't even allow that to give it attention. Just, and I had to be able to tell myself the same. I see you, I recognize you, and I'm releasing you. And then just be able to press that reset button, and it's just like, it is like heightening up a lot of things. There's some people that forgot, what was it, Farah told me. Farah, much love to you if you're watching this. She said the same thing. It's like the earth, it happened. Big shift I dealt with was on Valentine's Day. And then within the last 2 days, it's like, people that I spiritually connect with, is their past loved ones are coming to me, certain things that, not to really get into, into detail, but if it's like, if you passed on in a traumatic way, you're allowing me to see the last few minutes of your life, which is very, it's like going through those transitions. It's like sometimes that memory will come to me. It's like for that loved one to understand what kind of hold they're trying to get towards, or what kind of like if they went through something and it was caused by somebody else and they passed on because of that, they're wanting to seek that peace. Like they're all over the place. They're trying to make, they're trying to cross over, but there's like still some unfinished business going on. So it's like from that, it was intensified because it was just like it got like that with me when it came to certain people I was connected with, and it was just like not everybody I connected with in that same strength. It's just like it's not a Tyler Henry or Teresa Caputo type thing. Even though I love the hell out of both of their shows, it wasn't that type of thing where I can just read each and every person I connect with. It was like if it was needing to be said, it was, or you might be still in contact with this person, but even though you first meet them into that reconnecting, you won't get that vibe like that, or if it's somebody that's telling me about their path or what brought. I don't always get the visions and stuff like that. I don't get little snippets like that unless it's truly needed for that person to understand, and all that. And I really think it's like a blessing and a curse. And the only part I think is like the curse, because I'm still allowing myself to be able to learn how to shift that vision off, because it's like on repeat to me if it's like something that was very tragic or very sudden, like they felt like their life was taken from them before it was planned. But even though everything has a reason for happening the way it does, I will constantly have that, because it's like recently when God rest her soul, when those people passed away with Kobe Bryant and his daughter, it was like that thing was like right before they passed. The things that they were doing, they were praying, and just they knew what the inevitable was going to be. Those children were really scared, and their parents was trying not to be scared, but even though they were scared and stopped, but they were trying to make them calm, but they knew what was about to happen. So it was like that was a heavy impact on me. It was just like I know I couldn't do videos, I think, for like a day or two, because it was really that heavy. But, there's a lot of other empaths as well as people that are not empaths were triggered by that. So it's just like a lot of things are going into different phases, so it's just like, don't allow yourself to be like, oh my God, Roslynn, why is this just so this? It's just like you can be starting new adventures, and it's just like, when it's something new to you, it's automatic reaction for you to be fear, because you don't know if you have everything it takes to do what you have to do. But in the same hand, you have to allow yourself to know if this is something you really want in your life. Trust and believe. Universe, as well as your loved ones and your spirit guides, are going to orchestrate things, set and move away for certain things for these to be for you, because they want to lead you towards that direction to do the new things that you're doing, if it wasn't something that's going to bring out a positive purpose for you. So you're having to allow yourself to go through these things, because it's just like so many different things. It's like the retrograde is really got you diving deep. And it's kind of like, not, I don't know if it's like a soul searching. I'm trying to find a word that is, it's trying to make you go through the transition, but allowing yourself to get that fresh start. It's kind of like it's clearing your slate. And there's a lot of times those old wounds will bring up old energy, and then on merging with past energy. But like I've said before, your life, the current life, is merging with your past lives for them to be able to help you, sever that, those cycles, because we're all doing it, and we're doing it in different layers, and it's just like, you just feel like, oh, I don't know if, why did they pick me? Why the hell did I sign up for this? We do that because it's just like when you see things you do, it's like if I can go back many millenniums ago, I would kick my own ass and just snatch that paper away and say, oh, we're not about to do this. But you were the ones that, you were placed in certain situations. You have went through some ultimate tragedy. You have seen a lot of things that, has really took you there. The average people, everyday people wouldn't have been able to probably endure, or you have healed from a lot of things that, a lot of other people would not be able to heal from, so you have to allow yourself to give yourself that pet talk. You're a lot stronger than you give yourself credit for. Even though you might be still going through those different stages in life, it could be heavy, because it will have you. There's some people, and I felt it the same, but I was just like, all right, no, it's been good for me. Well, because it's like with you going through all these different transitions, don't feel like bad if it happens, but you have to allow yourself to really see it for what it is. Some of the memories, or even certain your situations that you're currently dealing with, if you have any kind of addictions, it might make you want to fall back a little bit, because you remember the times that when whatever that addiction was helped you deal with that, but you don't realize. You have to allow yourself to really see it for what it truly is. This is that thing to see, if you is basically your higher self is trying to tell you, yeah, you might be going through some heavy ish right now, but this is something that you can deal with, and you can deal with it straight, with a level head, because it's like your addictions clouds your judgment at times, and it's taking you away from really facing those things. All it is an escape. It's not something where, this is something that's needed in your life for you to continue. No, it's just with you dealing with foreign things and you're dealing with old things. It's a lot for you to take in, but you have to also understand you have that strength to get through it. It's just up to you if you want to do it that way. It's easy to say, oh, I need this, hit a blunt, I need to hit this blunt real quick so I can be able to do this. No, you don't need that. If you are using it for health purposes, medicinal, whatever you want to call it, that's a different story. But if you're dealing with just to cope with the things that you're going through, that is not helping you. It's escaping you, and it's prolonging you being in a situation that is no longer fitted for you. Those are the doors you need to close. And you're probably having that feeling like, what, things are about to end, things are shifting for me, which is totally true. But it's all up to you about how you decide to go about it. You just like, hey, you can always take this drug, or you can always take that drink, or you can always shoot up that needle, or, pop that pill if you feel like you need to do that. But just so you know, your decisions, decisions you're making, you better choose them wisely. Because if you allow yourself to really see it for what it is and say, you know what, I need to go ahead and do this light work on myself. I need to allow myself to really separate from this, because it no longer exists. It's no longer needing for me to hold on to it. I've held on to it for so long. It's not even a part of me. Don't allow myself to go to those easy route of trying to fall back. It's like you done went like about 20 to 100 paces forward. Just that one addiction that makes you fall off that wheel, and took you about 200 paces back. You have to make yourself look at it like that, not like, oh, it only made me go 5. No, because when you have went 1,000 back, thousand forward, but when you allow yourself to sink in and going back to that dark side, it done took you 2,000 things back. So you have to think of it that way, because when you allow yourself to see it that way, and you're, because I know a lot of times with us, we're dealing with some things that are really heavy, and you keep telling yourself, I'm so ready to go, I'm so ready to go. But you have to allow yourself to say, okay, I'm ready to go. But you have to really ask yourself, are you going to be doing the work you need to do to let go? Are you going to do the work you need to do to part ways with this situation? Because it's all about what kind of decisions you make in your life. So it's just like a lot of times, I connect with people as well as I can relate to the things that they're going to. And that's the reason why I feel so blessed to be able to deal with things that I deal with. So it's like with people that are connecting with me, I can tell you, hey, I relate to this. I've been going through this. I've been allowing myself to see things the way they need to be seen, and dealing with my experiences as well. Just to be able to be blessed to be able to tell people, hey, this is why this is happening right now. These are the things that you really need to truly see for what it is. Allow yourself to look at it, because a lot of times we run from our issues. We run from the acknowledgement that was always there, but we didn't feel like we had that strength enough to face those things. We ran from our issues. We ran from the unknown. We ran from the things, if we didn't know if it was going to be right, but you would have never known, because you didn't allow yourself to be fair towards yourself, to go towards this and see, do I have what it takes? And you usually do, but it's just up to you about, are you going to allow yourself to acknowledge that? So it's just like a lot of things make it heavy right now. And they have your emotions all over the place, because it was just like, I'm glad I met the people I got, recently met, but there's a lot of things that they're toying with, and still kind of, come to terms with. It's not like toying with, like saying in the bad sense, but you're trying to allow yourself to see, how do I go about this? How do I heal from this? How do I accept it? Because a lot of things that we tend to hold on as a, like a heavy burden, it can mess with your health. You can, with me, it's just like I've been having a lot of headaches, or I was emotionally eating, being very secluded, being very introverted, not wanting to be bothered with anybody, you know, um, having intense crying, because it's just like things, it's like making me go deeper and stuff, instead of me allowing myself to say, this can no longer affect you like that, even though you're trying to understand and come into terms with certain things that's been done to you. You have to allow yourself to say, these are the things that got me to where I am today. And I appreciate that trauma. I appreciate those down times. I appreciate myself going through those storms because it allowed me to see what I'm capable of achieving. Because well, you're going through these things. Yeah, it hurts like hell because I know a lot of y'all, hell, all of y'all, y'all are going, and I know you have to be really seriously going through some things if we're connecting, and you're just trying to allow yourself to see how do I get over this? How do I heal from this? And it's just like you have to allow yourself to have that, you know, that power is always there. You had to go through all these trials and tribulations just to basically reflect the truth that we ran from this whole time. You had to be able to go through those things. We didn't see the fine print. We signed those millennial or generational curse uh soldiers. We didn't see that because it was just like you were like Billy Badass back in the spirit realm. Like, oh man, I can tackle this thing. Nothing. Yeah, I can do this. It's like, okay, why don't you just sign your life away right here? And next thing you know, they didn't tell you, yeah, you have it all. You're this warrior that nothing can move you, nothing can shake you. You've been through many wars before you came to this one. you know but the only point was the way this it wasn't going to be that, because if you would have came in and they would have never took your powers away, never took your acknowledgement away, never took that fierceness that you had away, everything had to be shut down all at one time. And there's like little nippets, they're like, hey, pull that. It was kind of like a, anybody ever seen Green Mile? Beautiful movie, and it's basically about an empath that got killed. Somebody blamed him for some mess. I mean, that movie don't put me in my daggone feelings, and I love that movie. But it was just like, when they got executed, that's what it was. It's like that big jolt. It reminded you something was very familiar. It was foreign, but it was familiar to you. So it's just like every level that you had to go through, that intense negative, uh, lifespan or whatever you want to call it. You had to go through that, but it was just like your gifts would trickle out just a little bit. You're like, what the hell was that? And you're like, wait a minute, what was that? And it'll trickle out. It's like a lot of times you had to go through those things, and it's like they brought, you picked the people that you were going to deal with that was going to really challenge you, really put you in some, in some deep. What do they call? I forgot what movie I was looking at the other day, but you don't stand in the shit pile for so long, you don't even smell the shit no more. That's how basically it was. You had to go through that. You had to be with these evil demon type people that sorry about that, y'all. People that was in your life that had to really challenge you, make you think that, oh, there's nothing good out there for you. Nobody's gonna want you. You're not gonna be nothing. You know, you're not gonna have the strength we got. What's wrong with you? That you needed people that was gonna question you. And it got to that point, you have went through that for so long with different people or even the same people, you started questioning, doubting yourself. Then you had to allow yourself to really see the anger, the vengeance that you really had. You had like a V for Vendetta type situation. Like I'm whatever they're putting on me, I'm gonna put on them. But you realize it's like that's where this is gonna stop at, because that's the pattern. They went through the same thing that was the things they're pushing on you is what they got put on them. And you had to allow yourself to let yourself be seen. It's like, when you started this mess, I'm going to be the one that ends this, because I'm not going to take this and then push it off on somebody else, because you know what that felt like. And that was the things that's going to make this world turn. We always feel like, how are we going to be able to heal this world? But you don't realize it's like all the things you're going through, and then you're allowing people to understand the anguish you went through, the dark times you went through, the times you done fell back, the time when how'd you get through this situation because you should have been dead, type those type of situations. Then you're going to allow yourself, even through the madness that's being pressed on you, you're going to allow yourself, just like the thumbnail that I put up, with Neo from from the Matrix. He placed his hand up. He didn't, he was that type of person that really feel like, they picked you. Like, wait a minute, why they picking me? I'm just an average guy, this and this and this and that. And he didn't know he was the chosen one. So basically, we all running around here with all these daggone Neos. We got a little Morpheus. I always call my dad a damn Morpheus because that's the way he talks. I'm just like, Can you dumb it down.com for me? Can you speak English? She's like, I am speaking English. No, can you speak my type of English? 'Cause I don't know what the hell you were just talking about. And so I got like that. And so my dad always used to laugh at me because he was one of those trivial type people. I said, I feel like Neo mixed in with my girl. I forgot what her name was, the real pretty chick that, Neo was with, plus with the damn Oracle. I was like all three of those in one. But then I had to allow myself to see this is just, all the things that I went through, all the things that, you know, I was always protected. I might have to get bumped up a little bit. I had to go through a lot of mistreatment, but when I've allowed myself to really see the things I've been through, I was hit T-bone by a drunk driver. Like the same year my mom passed away, 2005. Matter of fact, it was the day before 4th of July. I still remember that. And it was like, I was so angry, and I died for like a few minutes and I brought myself back because I remember passing away, praying. And then it was just like, when in through that transition, I seen these big angels like coming and pushing the car because it's like where I was out on the outer road, the right down from me, on my passenger side, there's a metal rail for you not to go over because we lived on the outer roads before you get to the main highway. And it was like I just so happened to pull over, and it took me a minute to understand why I was there. It was like you did a deed for this person. It wasn't the other way around. And come to find out, if this man, the way he hydroplaned, he went, he number one, he didn't have his lights on. He went over in the ditch and bounced back up. And when he did it, he was like doing 120 in that short period of time. He was that inebriated. He did 120. Something told me to place my hand on the glass. He hit me, T-boned me, basically smack dead, full force, going 120 miles an hour. And came straight and hit me. And it's like I wasn't able to move. It was like right when he was getting ready to come at me, that's when his lights turned on. Because I know I heard the riving from an engine, but couldn't see what was going on. And my car was sitting right there. And I was driving a Buick Regal right when the new Buick Regals was coming out. And if I would have had my car, we would have both flipped over in the main highway. But actually, I was there to stop him from, going over the cliff. And it was just like the way I died. And I came back when they were opening up the jaws of life. Come to find out I was crushed all on one left side, And I just noticed it was just like, when they pulled me out the car, it was like, I guess it was like the second jolt when they put the jars of life on. And I knew they were like, she's, cold blue. I heard them saying cold blue, because it was like when I was sinking, it felt like I was in the water. Like if you're going in a pool and you're making yourself merge down, go down more, descend into the bottom of the pool. That's what it feels like when you're dying. And then it was like, before I was going through that transition, I seen two angels come up when that man hit me. There was like, they even seen on the side of the car, big handprints that was pushed into into the metal part. And they were like, man, she has some angels around her. And they were like, when they saw it, they were taking different pictures. They said, there's no way in hell she should still be alive. And then they were like, she has angels on her because you see the feet pressed up against the metal rail, but you also see the handprints that was on the other side of the car. Because when you seen the car, it was blood all over the place, And they were like, there's no way she should have lived from that, because it was, I don't know how they were able to know how many miles per hour he was going, but they did. And there was so many times I don't, escape death. I don't had death and then come back like 2 or 3 times, And it was just like I was always a time ace, keep on, God looking, keep on ticking. Died at age 7 because my cousin stood up here and had a daggone 2x4 rusty nails in it, hit me right directly in my temple. My mom's ex-husband had to put his foot on my head and yank it out. I was died for a few minutes, I was dead for a few minutes there, and then I brought myself back. Well, actually, my dad brought me back. So it's just a lot of things that I've seen my life go through, and how my life has changed, and how my life was, flipped upside down. And there's a lot of times I go through that dark side and I'm just like, why me? I didn't do anything. Why are they doing me this way? Why do I feel like I'm drowning in my own sorrows? There are so many things that I'm looking right dead in his face, and it's hard for me to actually grasp the concept of what been happening in my life, never thinking people that I would love would be able to do those things to me. But then when I allow myself to really see what it truly is, reading between blurred lines, it's like these people had to no matter how bad they were towards you, they were sent in your life to remind you of something that's never went away, that you always had, but it went, everything was shut down. And just from the trauma that you're going through, clicked it back on. That's why your gifts are becoming a lot stronger. You don't went through a lot of trials, you fed into that anger, you fed into the need of addictions and many different things you had to deal with just to feel the pain, just for you to understand what the concept of pain. A lot of people, you know, use different things to, deal with pain, and it was just like I had to, I stopped drinking, I stopped smoking cigarettes, I stopped smoking weed. And I had to allow myself to really face my own demons sober. I allowed myself to never run again because that's all I did. I ran from everything in life. If it got too hard, I walked away because it was too hard. And now it's just like I had to go through those things, whatever I was lacking. God and universe try to make sure I went through all these different situations that I can balance myself back out, and saying you always been that warrior. You just had to go through those dark times for it to remind you of that. When you have gone through so many different things, and when you allow yourself to do selfless acts in the world, that's all the things you always been doing. If you whatever you have went through and experienced in your life, and you see it kind of remind you of things that has happened in your past or maybe even your present, and you knew you had that ability to be able to change the way they viewed things, that people are amazing how people talk to me and tell me about the things that they're going through, or just needing that assistance, and not really telling me the things that they want to, even though I have that gift to be able to understand why that person is the way they do. I allowed myself to shut that part off because it's like it's violating. When they want you to know, they'll tell you, and I have to respect that, But some people, they were like, oh, okay, they can use that and abuse it. Now I said, no, I'm not going to do that, because it's just like I've had that done to me. Oh, girl, stop biting me like that. Um, Went through that, and there are certain things that I would have loved to, have those memories and cherish. But I had to go through hypnosis, hypnotherapy, and I had all those things that meant near and dear to me. My mom's ex-husband and her wife made sure they took those away from me. So, going through all these things, I had to let myself learn how to let things go, because I've always held things. It's like I would never allow myself to forgive people. It's like if I reconnect with them and be 4 or 5 years down the line, you go. It's like when things happen in your life, it's up to you if you allow this to bother you, because when it allows you to know that you still get some type of way about that, that's letting you know, look, these are something you need to really make peace with, because it's doing things, you know, and it's slowing down your process. Those are the things that had to go on. So it's like this retrograde is very therapeutic, but it's all about how you tend to look at it, because it's bringing up some heavy stuff. So you have to allow yourself to really, really see it for what it is. It's allowing you to have that chance to be fair to yourself. Don't allow your addictions to cloud your judgment on the things you need to do to have that better life. There's things you're trying to manifest to bring forward, but these are the things you're going to have to go through so they can be able to bring these things forward. So you have to allow yourself to use your clear judgment. Don't allow yourself to be, clouded by, things that you don't want to face right now, or things that's too hard for you to bear right now because you want to get a drink, or you want to smoke a cigarette, or you want to, pop a pill, or, or smoke, whatever you do. You have to allow yourself to look at it through sober eyes, sober mind. Allow yourself to take those changes that are very much needed in your life if you want to get any further where you want to. Because it's like you can always easily go ahead and get your addictions, but it's only going to keep you in that situation, and it's going to get more heavy, because universe and God has a bad way of, a good way. Now, it's a bad way for us, but it's a good way for them. It's like, oh, they don't want to listen, huh? Let me turn this damn heat up and see how they like that. Because I always tell people, hey, I had to learn from the hard way. There's many things that kept me away from blessings because I allowed my daggone weed and my patience, and how I allowed myself to get bothered by every damn thing that was done to me. That was, I had to allow myself to say, nah, I you got to look at this good and allow yourself to make that change that goes on for your life for the better. So, allow yourself to really look at the stages in your life where it's truly trying to help you. If it brings up something that's very, hurtful, these are the things you let you know this no longer can affect you, especially if you're allowing yourself to not be in that with that, when it comes to a certain person, if they're not in your lives, like mentally, emotionally, physically, but it's just trapped up in your mental, that's when you need to make peace. But a lot of times you're stuck in these karmic cycles where you can't run anymore. They're going to make you sit there, and that's where your strength is going to go in hyperdrive. Because just the fact is, like if you're dealing with a toxic relationship, or toxic marriage or whatever, and everything, all resources are cut off, where you can't go nowhere, you got to deal with it. That's where you're going to really get strengthened at, just because the fact is you can't go nowhere. Financial is going to be messed up, or if you call the cops on this person, they ain't going to do nothing, because I don't know, even though that can put somebody in their feelings, especially if they know these folks are really doing some hateful stuff to them. Because, if you're dealing with a narcissist, they ain't going to take blame for nothing they're doing. They're going to feel like they're justified for everything they're doing to you. They're going to make everybody look at you and not at them. But you have to understand, it's like, you only can do things in the dark before it gets, before it, has a reflect back out to where, okay, everything you have done to that person along the way with other people, that's about to come back on you. And when it comes back on you, it's going to come back a millionfold for them. So allow yourself to do that soul work that you need to do. Because I'm telling you, if you're stuck in that situation, it's going to give you that extra dose of, strength that you need, because it's easy, out of sight, out of mind. But when you have to see that person every day and you see them smiling, you can allow yourself to say, you know what, this ain't even me no more. I know you're probably in that same mind, like, what the hell was I thinking? But then you're going to allow yourself to thank that person, because they reminded you of everything that you needed in your life for you. You needed that self-worth. You needed that love for self. You allowed yourself to not sacrifice your happiness just to please another person, because if it really was love, they wouldn't ask you to do that. You need to be with somebody that loves you like the love you've been given out, the love you expect to get back. That person is going to help you with that. So when all the smoke clears, you're going to tell that person, thank you, because you reminded me of everything that I needed to have within myself, everything that I needed to allow myself to break away from, because we lived an unhealthy life in these daggone tragic situations that we are placed in. This gonna make you recognize that. This gonna make you love yourself even more, just because you had to endure that storm right there. They wouldn't let, everything was boxed in. You had no choice but to deal with that. So allow yourself to say congratulations to whoever got you in that situation, and you're going to say thank you, because you're going to come out so much different than you were when you started this. So I hope you were able to resonate with the content of this video. I didn't mean to make it this long, but I love to be able to tell my path and my experiences. You never know what somebody can relate to it. So I would love to give a post notification shout out to Lisa Yoko and Baby Butter. Much love to you and my sweet, sweet soul sister. Me a line, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share, tell somebody about the channel. They might find it interesting. If you want to get in touch with me one-on-one, you can find me on Facebook Messenger. I'm not accepting any friend requests, but I would love to connect with you on Messenger. Let it be serious, please. And if you're in the US, I'm only chatting from 10 o'clock in the morning till 10:30 in the afternoon, 10:30 at night. Uh, that's 7 days a week. Only if it's a dire emergency, I can understand. If you're overseas, that doesn't pertain to you, because I already know there's a big gap difference in time. So that's okay. But, I'll help you as much as I can. If I can't help you, I can guide you towards where you can find the help. So I hope you have a blessed, prosperous week. Be responsible and safe for everything you do. Know that you are truly blessed, highly favored, and forever loved, and knowing there's always somebody out there praying for your better days. And make sure you give out love, light, and positivity, as well as prosperity, words, vibes, and frequency. You never know, that can really take somebody a long way. See you on the next video.